everything sanded. I got it sanded down to a 400 grit, and now I'm going to stain it. Now the last one I did, I painted and I used lacquer and all that, and I'll probably never use lacquer again because it takes so long. I mean, it'll dry to the touch in, you know, a couple hours, but it takes about 30 days for it to get completely hard. So on this one, I'm going to leave it wood because I want to go natural, and I'm going to use a golden oak stain, and then when it dries, I'm going to spray it with a waterborne polyurethane. It doesn't take as long to dry, and the polyurethane is the same stuff they use on a hardwood floor, so you know that's going to work pretty good. So let's go ahead and stain it now. Now I think this spot and that spot is probably where the glue is. I'm going to try to stain it again. If it doesn't take it, then I'm going to sand it. Okay, I went ahead and wiped the front off, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to let it dry for about 15-20 minutes, flip it over, do the back side, and then once I do all that, I'm going to come back because we've got to put a grain filler on it before I put the polyurethane on it. Okay, I had to hang it up. I got it sanded. There's the back side. That looks pretty cool, I think. It's got a cool pattern on it, and the front looks pretty good. But the water-based stain, it takes 3 hours for it to dry, and once it dries, I can put the grain filler on it, and that right there is 2 coats and 45 minutes in between each coat. Then I can put the polyurethane on. So I'm going to let this dry for 3 hours, and we'll come back and we'll put the grain filler on it. Okay, it's been about 3 hours since I put the stain on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe it down with tack cloth to get the dust off of it, and then I'm going to put the grain filler on. So let's wipe it off. Start with the front. It'll be a little bit easier to hold. And put the grain filler on it. Go against the grain and push it in. Just like that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do the back side and the sides, and then take about 45 minutes. It'll dry, then I'll sand it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all this up. When I get done putting all the grain filler on it, sanding it, then we'll go back and we're going to put the polyurethane on it. Hey, well, it's the next day. The grain filler is dried, and I've already sanded it. I sanded the whole thing. I'm going to get ready to shoot with some water-based polyurethane. And I've already got it strained out. I'm going to pour it in my gun, and then we're going to shoot it. I'm going to wipe it down with a tack cloth and get the dust off of it. Mask on. No, I didn't thin out my polyurethane. The water base, you would use water, but I didn't do it. What I do is I've got my gun set on about 30 pounds, 27 to 30 pounds PSI coming out, and I had to open the nozzle up because this is kind of thick. Open the nozzle up a little bit more to let the paint come out. So let's shoot it. Let's let this dry. We'll come back and put another coat on. Okay, I got my polyurethane on there. I got like 10 coats on it. Took me all day yesterday and a little bit today because you got to put a coat on it, wait a little while, put a coat on it, wait, put a coat, wait, you know how that goes. But it's on there. You can see it's kind of shiny there. I do have some runs in it, but I'm not worried about that. I didn't get those until after like the 4th or 5th coat. Those will sand out. I need to let this cure for 2 weeks, not dry, and it'll dry in a couple hours. And it'll be dry tomorrow where I can, you know, do whatever else to it. But for me to wet sand it and polish it, it's got to cure, and that takes about 2 weeks. So, but I've got some other things I can do in between that. So we'll let this dry and get on to something else and come back to it in a couple weeks.